And since everything is about France, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jana. It was a great interview. Thank you so much.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jana.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so
Nice.
much for your time. A pleasure to talk to you and to talk about the Inventor. I love it.
Oh, great. I'm so
It's
happy you do.
I love it. I love Leonardo da Vinci. I love like the mix of animation, stop motion, 2D, all this amazing stuff.
Wonderful.
Yes. So let's start like from the beginning, the inspiration for this story. I know you did a short movie and then but why did you decide to do the long version of it?
Well, I think, as I just researched Leonardo during the making of the short, I learned more and more about him, and I found out, how, real he was. He was a real person like us. So, he procrastinated, and he, was distracted, and he never thought he finished anything. And, so I felt like, there was more to explore with him. In a way, he's kind of like a superhero in some respects, right? He has the superpower of curiosity and invention and intellect, but he's also a human. So he has that flaws like a superhero does as well. So to me, I thought bringing in this historical figure to a modern audience in that way, especially younger people, might be something good to pursue.
Yeah, I cannot wait for my son to watch it and so he can give me what he thought about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you can let me know.
Yeah, he's my little critic. He's 12 now, but he's always especially animation is the genre that he likes the most. So I cannot wait for him to watch it.
Oh, great. 12 might be a good age too.
Yeah. Yeah. And like mixing all this type of animation, stop motion with 2D and hand drawing, what was like it must be like a challenge, but more for me than for you. But how was like this process to work to mix all of them together?
My idea with the two different styles, and I love those two forms. They're both handmade forms of animation, right? Not like computer animation. And they're the original forms. So to me, it felt like a film about Leonardo da Vinci should be drawn, first of all, because of his sketches and his artwork and everything. But then in thinking about it too, I thought, stop motion with its craftsmanship and its building and armatures and, the physics of it as well, felt very Leonardo da Vinci to me too. So it became that the stop motion became the real world, if you will, and the 2D drawn animation became his flights of fancy and his ideas of imagination and bringing us into his mind. So in a way, like bringing us into his sketches and his thinking. So that was how I kind of could compartmentalize the two. And then that gave us sort of a language for the telling of the story using those visuals. And that way, I think, too, it helps the audience not get thrown out of the film because they learn that's the language of the movie, how it's told.
Yeah, I love it. I love the sense, the scene with the sense when they're
Great.
super cute.
You're the first to bring that up to me. That's awesome.
Really, I love
an
it.
interesting thing about that, my daughter, who at the time was 16 maybe or 15, she's a good artist. So I asked her, I said, hey, could you design these for me? And so she went in and like drew these kind of crazy, I said they're based on the senses, and she went in and she drew them up for me, and I used most of those designs in the film.
Yeah, I love it. I love like the butterfly, which is the ears, like
Sure.
it's I love it.
Yeah, that's great. The Hieronymus Bosch, inspired by Hieronymus Bosch.
That's good. That's good. You tell her that someone noticed that.
I will. That's great.
Also, like the voice cast, it's also amazing. How did you decide to pick Stephen Fry, Daisy Ridley, and Marion, which I love her everything that she does.
She's amazing, isn't
Yes.
she?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm blessed with this cast. We're great to work with. They're great voices. Stephen was my first choice for Leonardo da Vinci because I wanted that kind of very intellectual sounding voice. It's just his intelligence comes out in his voice, the way he says things. And he also has a nice lightness to his voice and humor. And I thought, well, that's what I wanted for Leonardo da Vinci. I didn't want that big booming voice or kind of a Gandalf or something like that. And then with Daisy, she has a nice power in her voice, but there's also sincerity in her voice. So she fit perfectly for Marguerite's character. And she can sing really well. And I don't know that people know that about her. So we were able to have her sing a few songs for us, and that was just great. And Marion, I mean, what else can you say, right? She's just a star and just, just an amazing performer. And we kind of threw at her at the last minute this idea of doing a little song because it's like, Marion Cotillard, you have to have her sing. And I don't think she was expecting it. So we actually watched her develop singing that song right in front of us at the recording station. And she told us, this isn't going to be great at the beginning, but I'll get there. And she certainly did. It was just, it was magic to watch her work. So it's a real pleasure.
Yeah, that's amazing. You mentioned the songs, like I love the way that you add the songs, especially the first one, the Pope singing. I love it. And then all of them, like it's kind of it's like special, I think, brings more to the story. And
thank you.
Aside for the drawings, how did you decide like the music, which moment or which one you're going to be singing?
Well, my great composer Alex Mandel and I worked on this quite early on together because we've been friends since Pixar. And he did the score on my short film I made there called Your Friend the Rat. So we decided I wanted a song for the workshop building. I thought it would be really fun to see that in a song moment. And like the building all assembling around him from a white space. So we put that song on. We worked on that for a while. And then somebody told us you should have a song earlier if you're going to have songs in the film. And so then I thought, well, maybe the Pope has this song. And then so he wrote a song for the Pope. And then that just snowballed and we started writing it more and more songs. But it's not really a musical. It doesn't follow a musical. It doesn't follow the musical tradition or structure. It's a little more like a Pinocchio to me, where it has songs in it, but it's not necessarily, I never considered Pinocchio, the original, a Disney one, as a musical. So that's kind of how we looked at it. And it was really basing it on coming out of Renaissance music, but also looking more modern to it. Like, so there's a germ of some Renaissance, and Alex really knows his music and studied Renaissance music in college and university. So he was able to bring in those, that knowledge to it, but then modernize it so it doesn't sound like green sleeves throughout the film or something. So,
yeah.
Or Renaissance, just full Renaissance, which might turn people off because it might sound old and dusty. So we really wanted it to feel contemporary in a lot of ways. And the songs too, like for Marguerite and Leo, they're point to the future because they're based, that way. So the idea was to use that in the story to like show how modern they were or how they're heading towards modernism.
It's beautiful. It's really, really cool. I never thought that it was gonna be like a musical. I never look at that way. You know what I mean? I like there's music on it, but
yeah, you didn't either, right? Because it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to make a Broadway play out of it,
you never know, right? Let's do it. Let's throw in the universe. Maybe someone want to do it.
Why not? My daughter calls the whole thing the LCU, the Leonardo Cinema Universe.
That's good. And I forgot to ask you before, but how long did it take for you to have all this from since the first idea to the final product? How many years did you work on this movie?
The whole time it took about 12 years, so not including the short, which took another 10. So Leonardo's been with me a long time, this guy here. 12 years. So it took about 10 years of that time, or roughly, to put the money together and find our investors, find the right partners, find the studio we worked with, Folioscope in France. So it took all that time. And then about production really only took about 2.5 years once we started building sets and puppets and everything else. So, and while we were looking for money, I was developing the story, writing the script, storyboarding it, really preparing, doing some artwork, and then production. Yeah, about 2.5 years.
A lot of time, but that's why I admire you guys that work in an animation, especially stop motion, when it's oh my God, it's the heart there, is the sweat, is the
It's really,
crying,
yeah,
the
they're
tears.
great people, stop motion artists. You
Yes,
know, one thing that's interesting, I tell my crew though, I'm like, it did take 12 years, but it needed to take 12 years
yeah.
because it's the movie it is because it took 12 years. And I worked with this great team in that time. So,
And Jim, if you want to give an advice to someone that want to pursue a career in animation, what advice you give to this person?
well, I would tell them it's a great career. It keeps you a kid at heart, and to really pursue it. I mean, today, I would say, get out there and be curious. Watch people, how they move, how they interact with each other. Everything you do, and even if you become an animator, you're a storyteller. So you want to find what are the stories that people are telling each other with their interactions, and look at that. I would say, what's great today is there's so many great tools, and it's really not like when I started. It's really not easy, but it's more accessible to people today to learn. And I would say dive in and watch videos, listen to podcasts about people talking about it, and look at those programs depending on which area of animation you want to go. Start experimenting, playing. Don't be afraid to fail. Make failures, because it's how you learn. Don't be afraid to show people what you're doing and get feedback. I think you just got to go do it. You just got to go out there and start moving things around, and that's how you animate, and that's the only way you learn.
Amazing. Jim, I just want to thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to meet you. And since everything is about France, merci beaucoup. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thanks,
Bye
Jana. It
bye.
was a great interview. Thank you so much.
Great, great for you. And thank you so much for your time.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it. If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.